Today the Church remembers William Wilberforce, Josephine Butler and all social reformers. And we read Matthew chapter 9 verses 10 to 13. Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. We know from the Gospels that Jesus repeatedly got into trouble because of the company he kept. He eats with tax collectors and sinners was about the biggest insult you could throw. Not only was his company disreputable, but it rendered him unclean in the eyes of strict Jews, unfit for the presence of God. An unclean person could not enter the temple or they would defile it. Those who criticised Jesus in this way would have missed the irony of this judgment. Looking back, we can see it. The one who was God himself sat at that table with the sinners. The one whom the temple glorified, whose glory no one could remove. Of course, even more so, in his death, Jesus adopted the place of the lowest human beings. Being crucified was a cursed death, reserved for the worst criminals. I have come to call not the righteous but sinners, Jesus responded. Let the reader understand, as they say, those two categories here. The Pharisees might well feel they were among the righteous, but I'm not sure Jesus took that view. He might have said, I've come to call those who know they are sinners and have no illusions about being righteous. He might have said, those who don't realise how sick they are will not consult a physician. He focused his ministry on those who were receptive, who did realise their need, who were willing to listen and to learn, not on trying to persuade the recalcitrant. Is it any wonder, after this example of his, that so many of his followers walking his way have been social reformers, have spent their lives working to relieve the suffering of vulnerable groups in society? So many charities in action today have roots in Christian founders. Today we remember and give thanks for the reforming zeal of Wilberforce in the abolition of slavery and of Josephine Butler in women's rights, campaigning in part against the enslavement of women into prostitution. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could say, since these great campaigners, all those problems are over, at least in this country? Alas, it's not so. And we hear reports that modern slavery is happening even in our country, as defined in the Modern Slavery Act of 2015. The control, force or coercion of an individual to perform work, including restrictions on movement, debt bondage, removal of identity documents, psychological manipulation and threats of or actual violence. Globally, it's estimated that 21 million to 45 million people are trapped in slavery. There are several campaign groups, including End Slavery Now and antislavery.org. Perhaps the best way to be thankful for Wilberforce and Butler's contributions and to follow them in Jesus' way today is to find out about these campaigns and support them.